I was set to have dinner with a man who I hadn't seen in several years. It was one of those things where you agree to go weeks before, but once that day finally arrives, your mind searches for excuses to cancel. My mind was blank that day.
Is this seat taken?
He looked like he hadn't changed. I knew his life was more interesting than mine, and I hoped to steer the conversation so he'd do all the talking.
Wow. After all this time, I can't believe we're finally having dinner. What has it been, 2, 3 years?
3.
So, how you been?
Good.
And you? I can't complain. So, what have you been up to?
Oh, this and that, you know.
No, I don't know. 3 years is a long time. You must have accomplished so much since last we talked.
Well, I guess it depends on what you consider an accomplishment. I mean, the moon landing was an accomplishment, but so is getting out of bed if you're a depressed person, or taking a short walk if you're trying to work out. Then what do you consider an accomplishment? Well, I think I consider all of those things accomplishments.
Had many moon landings recently?
I suppose not.
Well, then what have you accomplished in your book?
I'm not sure I look at it that way. I mean, a man isn't what he does or doesn't do.
Well, then, what is a man?
I'm not sure I can say. Take an artist, for example.
Whoa, what was that? The shirt, it's purple.
Yes, it is. So, this artist, say they paint 1,000 paintings, and they're all, well, they're not great. And this other artist paints one painting, but it's the Mona Lisa. Who would you say accomplished more?
The one who painted the Mona Lisa.
Why?
It's better. You said so yourself.
But why is it better? I guess because of the cultural impact of this one work of art. What about the other 1,000? Well, they're not great, or so the example goes. Yes, but aren't they equally an extension of the artist themselves? Are their attempts at art or self-expression not of equal value to the Mona Lisa? It depends on what the artist is trying to do. I mean, if you want to paint a realistic representation of a woman in front of a landscape, then the Mona Lisa is a perfect example of accomplishment. But if you end up with a stick figure, you've probably failed. So here we raise the question of intent. The artist must have a goal in mind, and then accomplishment can then be measured by how closely the final product aligns to that vision, right? Yes, because without intent, what's the purpose? What? If an artist intends to make a bad painting and succeeds, does that make it a good painting? They may have accomplished their goal, but that doesn't make it good. I mean, art is subjective, isn't it? True. Would you say art has a goal? I think it varies from person to person or piece to piece, but perhaps there is some goal in executing one's idea. Like you said, perhaps it's perfection that defines accomplishment. If you're basing it on alignment of the final product to the goal, then yes, perfection does define accomplishment. And maybe it's that innate human knowledge of unattainable perfection that drives our lust for what we can never have.
What was that?
Well, it's all to say that to become perfect is to lose what makes us human.
No, not that. You were just reading from something.
Was I?
And your shirt, it keeps changing.
It's still a shirt, isn't it?
Yes, but it's a bit distracting.
I hope our conversation is interesting enough for you to overlook a simple wardrobe change.
It is, but... And the mug.
Yes?
It was just gray.
So it could be any number of colors. Red, blue, green. It doesn't change the fact that it's just a mug, or that it's just a shirt, or the centerpiece. The centerpiece? Oh, let me tell you about the centerpiece. Our dinner continued that way for some time. I never really understood what he was talking about, though. I guess that's how conversations go sometimes. You just nod along until you find something to latch onto.